What is going on, guys? We are back on another episode of DC Bronzies. Hope you guys are doing fantastic on this Saturday morning. Hopefully you guys can get out and fish today. As I am filming this, it's the night before, so this will be posted Saturday morning. I'll be out in the boat today fishing some Fox River walleyes, and I'm gonna get that video out once I get back as soon as possible for you guys so that you can see some boat action as well. Sunday I'll probably be getting out on shore or something someday here on shore for another video for you guys. But today what we're really doing is just going through the baits that I like to use for the Fox River as well as Green Bay walleyes, and we're just gonna hop right into it. All right, first bait we're starting out with is just a simple jig with a plastic. Now I'm going to show you guys the brand of these plastics here in a second, but this particular one is a Bee Fishin', I believe it's a ringworm plastic. Otherwise you've got the Bee Fishin' Moxie, which is also a very good bait. These in the, I think this is chartreuse orange core, and then this is chartreuse with the green core. Any of the Bee Fishin' baits are great. I'll show you the bag real quick. These are the Bee Fishin' baits. You guys are gonna want to try these out in De Pere. I forgot to mention, I'm gonna go over also how I am fishing these baits, not just what I'm using. Okay, so how you're gonna fish these baits. Usually, I like to fish these and just cast them out and just drag them along the bottom. Whether you're fishing from shore or in a boat, that's almost always really effective. That or giving it a couple pops, like you might a jig, but seems like dragging these things, especially when the water's colder like it is right now, fish are a little bit lethargic, and that is doing the trick with these baits. So I've got an assortment, I'll show you guys. I've got an assortment of jigs here, different colors, different sizes, and yeah, that's kind of what we're rocking, just the Bee Fishin' baits. All right, next bait on the list is also a jig, but I'm just going to simplify this. Instead, we're using just a regular jig with a minnow. That's basically one of the most traditional ways to catch walleyes, and it can be very effective in De Pere, especially right now when the water's cold. That extra live scent on there from the bait from minnows really helps, and same thing with those. You just drag those so slow on the bottom. That is how the fish like them. So those are the first two baits, jigs with plastics and jigs with minnows. Next bait is going to be a hair jig. A lot of people don't use this, but I know it can be effective. I've not personally, maybe caught one or two fish on him, but personally I have not caught fish on a hair jig. Here's a hair jig that I tied myself. Basically for these two, just kind of popping them off the bottom, dragging, popping, swimming them, any way you want to fish them. Like I said, I haven't had too much experience with them, but I know that they can be really effective. Apparently they're supposed to catch, they don't catch quite as many numbers of fish, but they catch the bigger fish, which if you guys are really looking for one of those De Pere or Green Bay giants, sometimes the hair jig can be a super good tool. All right, bait number 3, moving away from hair jigs, is the blade bait. Now this as well, I haven't had too much experience with the blade bait, but gold, always a good color blade bait to use. But these are sort of similar to Rip and Wraps in that you're going to be trying to find some sort of cadence. It depends what the fish are liking that day, so try different things, you know, one rip, a rip, another rip, and then let it hit the bottom. Always making sure to let it hit the bottom, fall to the bottom, because usually on the fall those walleyes are going to hit the baits like this. So I've got a gold blade bait as well as this clown colored blade bait by Bee Fishin' Tackle. You know, be trying blades too, because I know those can be super effective in this colder water as well. All right, we have 2 more baits left on the list that I want to go over for you guys. This has been my go-to bait lately. One of my favorite baits to fish on the Fox River, and can be really effective on Green Bay as well, is the Rip and Wrap. I will link my video down below and put it right up above in the corner of this video, where you guys can go watch me fishing from shore, actually catching nice walleyes from the Fox on this on these Rip and Wraps. But really, I'm just gonna go over quick what I do. In that video, I talk about how to fish them and everything. But simply, you just bomb these things out there. You're gonna be giving them, depends, once again, cadence, gotta switch it up, gotta try different things out. But often, just one rip, you reel in your slack, let the bait hit the bottom, come up for another rip. Oftentimes, when you come up for that next rip, you'll feel weight there, and that is a fish. So they're super effective, fun baits to fish. Oftentimes they heat up and do a little bit better when the fish are more active. So I know right now they're kind of slow with all the water temperature fluctuation. So, you know, once we get a constant temperature, I think these fish will be hitting the Rippin' Wraps a little bit more. Final bait I have for you guys today is going to be, once again, should have gotten these out. It's going to be the Husky Jerk. Or some sort of crankbait, but these are fished as crankbaits on these are more for the fox, whether you're trolling or casting. Obviously you troll on Green Bay, but you don't usually cast cranks or anything like that on Green Bay, at least from what I've seen or experienced. The crankbait, this one's in a clown color. Oftentimes the guys use the biggest size Husky Jerk that there is, which is a size 14 or a size 12, using those big crankbaits for those walleyes, and just basically now with the colder water, just reeling as slow as possible, super slow retrieve, making sure to make contact with the bottom, be hitting those rocks and bouncing in through those rocks so that those walleyes react to your bait. All right guys, so I hope you enjoyed all those tips and tricks. Feel free to leave comments down below if you have any questions. I just want to make a quick, simple video for those of you that might have questions about what you might want to be using on the fox in the spring or the bay for these big Green Bay walleyes. Yeah, beyond that, if you're new, feel free to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. We are almost to 1K. Been a huge dream of mine. I'm so excited about that. So guys, thank you so much. We will catch you in the next episode of DC Bronzies. See ya.